DIY.
Anytime I see Nav, I just chuckle to myself. To me, he represents some of the funny stuff in this industry that I'm just like, I don't know how much of this is reality and how much of this is to get a reaction. He said a few things over the years that led me to believe, like, do you not like producers?
Y'all ain't setting your compressor settings, man. Y'all ain't doing fucking side chaining your kick drum with your bass line, bro. Go Google that. Y'all ain't doing that shit. Producers ain't even doing that shit. Shit, man. They not fucking with me. It's a rap.
Nav talks about why he's frustrated with producers having 5 guys on one melody.
I'm frustrated with the new age producers that it's 5 guys on one melody.
Speak on it.
2 guys doing the drums, like, y'all want to split the whole pie down so thin to the point where it's like, yo, why don't you just learn piano, learn a little bit of engineering, learn a little bit of drums and shit and all that shit, and just do it yourself. It's more pure that way. You got more control. It's like you go into a room and it's like, okay, who made this melody? We got to clear it. And can you change the chords? No, because he played. Now you got to tell him to do it. Then you got to tell 3 different people to do shit.
Producers get the job done. If it's from getting a beat maker with you in there, sometimes I got to call a guitarist in, a keyboard player in. Sometimes I got to call a guy that plays the flute. I tell them sometimes what to play out my mouth. I want you to go,
I'm tired of the bullshit. Call a spade is what I'm about to do. Contrast what he just said the role of a producer is, and contrast what this guy, Nav, just said about what he's annoyed by sample makers doing. 2 contrasting arguments that are based around the same principle, which is fucking money. You can give me all the arguments of beatmaker versus producer. This shit is about money. Nav is expressing a frustration with having to split up the money between all these different entities. You don't have to be the guitarist. I can hire a guitarist. You don't have to be the piano player. I'll hire a piano player. You don't got to even play the drums. I'm the vision. I'm the guy that sees everything. I pull it all together. That's my vibes over it. Well, teaching a producer who's coming up in the industry is frustrating a guy like a Nav who doesn't want to split that pie up. This shit's about money. It's so frustrating because now they're taking out their aggression on sample makers. Where do you think sample makers get the idea of, I as the lead sample maker, I'm going to bring a guy that plays the piano, a guy that plays the live bass? Who do you think they're getting these ideas from? So now you say, hey, you're not supposed to do that. It sounds like they're saying only I'm supposed to do that because I'm in position to do that. You teach these kids what entrepreneurship is in the name of being a real producer, then you get angry when they attempt to do it. It frustrates me so much when you hear folks in that ecosystem teaching people that this is the way, listen to what I'm saying, but it's in direct contrast with what they actually want. People want their money. People want their splits. They're just not saying that out loud. What they're doing is they're negging. What they're doing is they're beating down on your self-esteem, hoping that you just adjust to whatever rules they create. Here we are now where I can't imagine what it's like to be a young producer who comes in here and you're like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Do you always want me to be an employee of yours? Do you want me to one day be in the position that you're in? Or are you telling me to stay in my place because you don't ever want me to replace you? And is it confusing on purpose? Because that kind of confusion can keep somebody being a slave to somebody else. Because you'll do just enough not to get kicked out the room. I think it's a very efficient way to make music. I think it's the system that was put upon producers when you think about OGs like Dr. Dre, who have established this is our version of an assembly line. This is how we get cohesive ideas. Somebody needs to lead the charge, and we need people to specialize in micro areas so that we get to the best product possible. But I think it's very contradictory to then turn around and say, well, how fucking dare you to listen to me?
I know the producers play like politics like that.
Man, that's why I got my own production. That's why I'm gonna show them. Y'all nigga want to try to chart. Then these niggas want to start putting 4 and 5 niggas on the beat. When they doing that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That okay? These niggas start a band. God damn, man. This nigga want 10,000. He want 5. He want, man. Fuck that, man.
Rich Homie Quan is expressing his frustration with working with producers, taking on jobs, and then hiring people to do micro jobs within the project to deliver a product to him. He's frustrated with the fact that he's like, this is my budget for the production. Y'all got to figure this out. I don't think that he is wrong for expressing aggression because it's his money. It's a reason why he has his own production team, which I think is supremely intelligent to do. But getting mad at the producers who are learning, where are they learning that from? Who do you think tells a producer that has other producers that they work with that are under them that every one of them should try to get as much money as they can out of these rappers or these situations? Who do you think that kind of logic even comes from? You think these producers just make it up? No, this is what happens when you have contradictory messages that are put out with no explanation. When you try to act like you're giving a producer community game, but all it is half-ass assumptions, you get people who do half-ass actions. So then to throw up your arms and be like, I don't know where they get it from. Who's setting the examples? Who's yelling at the top of their lungs, you're not a real producer? The producers in this Rich Homie Quan situation, they may not feel like they're in the wrong for it because I'm sure whoever they were told, whoever their OGs were, they told them that's the way that you go about it. You got to make sure your people get paid. Okay, cool. But when you don't give somebody a specific game plan or a code or an ethic or a way that you should approach that, you get the bullshit. But to only blame them for the bullshit when the teaching has already been incomplete, you're going to have issues.
For me, I come from one person name on the credits, and I'm like, that's that guy right there. Now I'm looking at credits, and I'm like, I can't tell who the guy is because it's 6-7 months, you know what I'm saying, people on the credits. I don't know, that's cool, but I also like the ego thing. I want to be the best motherfucker making beats, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I feel about it. And it's all love because collaboration, that's a big part of music. It's all good. But, man, sometimes I be wanting to be like, yo, I can't tell what's what. It's like it's too many people on the credit.
I respect Hit Boy the most out of all these slides for saying it like the other folks are not saying it. He brought up the word ego. He brought up the fact that I want to be the man in the room. However you feel about that, it's how you feel. But at least he says it. The elephant in the room that continues to get ignored is that all of these rules, all of these standards that folks are telling you to live by are meant to be broken. They just don't want you breaking them. I've had the opportunity, the beautiful opportunity to work with a Hit Boy on a few different occasions. The first occasion was for a remix of a song called Ratchet Still Jockin'. That's on YouTube. You can check that out. The second time was through artists that used to be signed to him in a group called Audio Push. I played beats. They loved the beat. They took the beat and they had their musicians, in-house musicians, add other elements to it and really break it down, AKA production. I know, though, if you give somebody that instruction and that example, people are going to do it not only the right way, but the wrong way in the eyes of the people who are teaching it. This is why education is so fucking important in our field. And not just any education. Detailed. Industry professionals do better. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't get greedy. Peace.